Hello, I'm Jason Turvey of the Class Consciousness Project, and welcome to the latest in our series of bulletins updating you on class struggle in Britain and across the world. We start our report this week on the railways, as members of the RMT took part in another day of strike action on the 29th of July in their long-running dispute over pay. Members formed picket lines at locations across the country as travellers were faced with another day of disruption in a dispute that shows no sign of coming to an end. Meanwhile, the pitifully short consultation period on the government's plans to close over 1,000 ticket offices has been extended until September. Over 170,000 responses have been received by organisers of the consultation, but some rail operators had failed to provide their consultations in accessible formats, meaning that some people were not able to respond to the government's plans. You can go online to make your feelings on the government's plans clear. Just go to the RMT's website via the link in the description. In aviation, workers at Gatwick Airport have called off their strike, which was scheduled for the weekend of 29th and 30th of July, as new and improved pay offers have been accepted by members of Unite. ASC workers have accepted a double-digit pay rise, while workers at Menzies accepted a 13% pay rise for ground handling staff and a 17% increase for the lowest paid staff, as well as improvements to annual leave entitlement and sick pay. This settlement came after DHL workers at Gatwick settled their dispute after accepting a 15% pay deal. In the NHS, junior doctors have announced that they will take further action in their ongoing dispute over pay. The British Medical Association, which represents the junior doctors, will take more strike action on the 11th to the 15th of August as they fight to claw back lost pay from below inflation wage rises going back some 15 years. The NHS also saw radiographers take strike action this week. The Society of Radiographers were forced to take action when the government refused to talk to the society whilst industrial action remained an option. Strike mandates exist across 36 NHS trusts across the country, but the question which raises itself when we look at the junior doctors, radiographers and the consultant strikes that we reported in last week's update is when the societies and associations which organise these workers will properly coordinate their actions to press the government into action. Now we'll look at Amazon, where GMB has announced that their members working at 2 Midlands fulfilment centres will walk out in their dispute over pay and trade union recognition. Members working at the Rugeley Centre in Staffordshire will take strike action on the 3rd and the 4th of August, and at Coventry on the 4th and 5th of August. Workers are demanding a pay rise of £4 an hour from £11 an hour to £15, and their strike marks the first anniversary of the strike action elsewhere in Amazon, where workers at the fulfilment centre in Tilbury in Essex walked out in their own dispute over pay. Turning now to the teachers' strike and the National Education Union's consultation period with its members on the frankly terrible and wholly inadequate government offer has now closed. The union has been going to great lengths to encourage its members to accept a pay offer which is not only way below the rate of inflation, but it isn't fully funded, so budgets will have to be shuffled around to pay for the rise. The NEU's Joint General Secretaries filmed a video where they encouraged their members to accept, which was posted onto a web page featuring colourful logos maintaining that they will keep campaigning even after the union has settled. We'll let you know what the result of that consultation is as soon as the NEU announces it. Now, you'll recall from our last class struggle update that I talked about the failure of the Royal Mail dispute and the capitulation of the Communication Workers Union. CWU members accepted a terrible settlement with Royal Mail despite the best efforts of the Posties Say No campaign, and we at the Class Consciousness Project recommended that Royal Mail members who wanted to win back their union should engage with this campaign and help to build a genuine grassroots movement to act to bring pressure on the paid bureaucrats at the top of the union to act in the best interests of the members or be replaced by them. Well, I'm pleased to say that the campaign has decided to build on its good work during the dispute and has published a mission statement on the internet, which you can see by clicking on the link in the description to this video. The statement says that they are not a rank and file movement as yet, but aim to build for one and invite all rank and file members, regardless of whether they voted for the pay deal or not, to get involved. It's a really good statement and I urge you to go online to take a look, and again, I encourage all CWU members in Royal Mail to get involved. We'll leave a link to the statement in the description below. Turning now to the United States, and the International Brotherhood of Teamsters has announced that it has reached a tentative deal to settle its dispute with the United Parcels Service, but not everyone is happy with the settlement. The Teamsters announced via their website that they had won a raft of concessions from the UPS management, including wage increases for full and part-time workers, health and safety protections like air conditioning in delivery vehicles, no forced overtime and the creation of new jobs. But some workers are angry at the settlement. They say that pre-existing issues like the multiple tier pay structure isn't being addressed by this agreement, and that drivers will receive a pay rise which is way below inflation. They've also said that the promised improvements in pensions are not as generous as they were led to believe. Workers feel that, with such a strong mandate from its members to take strike action, the union's leaders could and should have exercised the power that they had at their disposal to wrestle greater concessions from UPS. The settlement will be put to the union's 340,000 members in UPS, so we'll watch with great interest to see how that pans out. And that wraps our bulletin for this week. But if you're involved in a dispute that you think we should know about, get in touch with us at classconsciousnessproject@gmail.com. You can check out our website at classconsciousnessproject.blog. And if you like our work and want to help to support us financially, you can donate via the link in the description to the video. You can find us on Telegram or X, on Instagram and on Facebook. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Solidarity.